I would say I think we have a good chance to have a soft or softish landing or outcome.
Yeah, really soft landing. I don't think so. Not with Powell's un-Volcker-like policy. But we're going to hear from the master, Art Laffer, former Reagan economic advisor, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient. You know, Art, before I let you roll on this, all the market signals today were like dovish easy money from the Fed. I mean, the stock market going up over 900 points. If the Fed was tough on inflation fighting, I don't think that would have happened. Gold prices went up. The dollar went down. Oil prices went up. Actually, market interest rates went down, even though the Fed funds rate went up. And Powell ruled out 75 basis points. And, Art, they're completely wussing out on shrinking their balance sheet. It's like a total wuss story. People thought it'd be close to $100 billion a month. It's close to $45 billion a month, and it's not starting for a month. So, you think this is tough stuff, Volcker-like stuff?
No, I don't, Larry. But you know, all the other economists, the mainstream economists, if you want to call them, or Biden economists, are all saying the inflation rate's coming down to 2%. They really do believe this is a temporary, transitory phenomenon, even though it's gone way beyond what they thought it would, Larry. And the Fed is not treating this seriously. If they were to treat it seriously, they'd have to raise interest rates to 13, 14%. And they're not doing that. They'd have to shrink the balance sheet, not only shrink it, but really stop buying any more bonds, period, and then starting to shrink the balance sheet. And, you know, all the indications to me, Larry, are we may get a respite now for the next couple of months, 3 months, on inflation in the CPI because of the low numbers 12 months ago. Those will be dropping off. But then the 3 months before the election, the drop-off numbers are much lower, and you're going to see that inflation rate pop up. The PPI, the Producers Price Index, is up. I don't know where they get this stuff. The sensitive commodity price is up. As you say, oil is up, the dollar's down. I mean, all of this stuff is happening, which tells me the Fed's being way too soft on money. I'm way too soft on inflation, and they will bear enormously negative consequences as a result.
Yeah, I mean, you got all these traders saying, well, gee whiz, look how tough they are. They raised the Fed funds rate the most in 2 decades by 50 basis points. The only problem I have with that, Art, is that the actual inflation rate is the highest in 4 decades. So 2 decades loses out to 4 decades, which is your point about real interest rates and Volcker.
Yeah, and what happened 4 decades ago, Larry, was shocking. I mean, it's more than 4 decades ago now. It was 4.5 decades ago. But when that inflation rate was coming in, I mean, 14, 15, 16% rates of inflation, mortgage rates at 18, 19%. That's a killer, Larry. That's a real killer. And then you've got another Jimmy Carter, literally, in Joe Biden. He is complaining that the Republicans are trying to raise taxes on the poor. What the heck's he talking about? They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and he's worried about a Republican agenda to raise taxes. He's the tax increaser. It's all this dystopian world of unbelief, and I don't know where they're coming from or what they believe, but there is no understanding of economics going on at the Fed.
We have some sound on President Joe Biden today regarding the Trump tax cuts. Take a listen.
The previous administration increased the deficit every year it was in office, in part because of its reckless $2 trillion tax cut. Now, you're tired of hearing me saying but a $2 trillion tax cut that was not paid for. Was not paid for.
Arthur, was not paid for? Reckless? Do you hear the sound?
No. In fact, yeah, I do. It's just totally untrue. And I don't know where his economists get those numbers. You know, from the 4th quarter, when the tax cut came into effect, for the next 2 years through the 3rd quarter of 2019, tax revenues, federal tax revenues, went up much faster than they have been historically. So it not only paid for itself, it actually brought in extra money. In addition to that, this story that cost $2 trillion over 10 years is absolutely not true. And if there were a truth bureau, as he wants to put in, he'd be growing a Pinocchio nose like you wouldn't believe it.
Well, this would be, you know what, why didn't I think of that? We should actually refer that to the misinformation Government Bureau or whatever it's called. George Orwell's Truth. What a wonderful, and get this crazy woman who's presiding over it so she can tell us about the Trump tax cuts. What a great idea, Arthur. I'm going to run. That's a terrific stuff. We got to have the Truth Bureau onto this. But let me ask you, I mean.
And it's reported by everyone, too. Just reported by everyone.
So you got what's also interesting to me, though, you got a bunch of people, ex-Fed people, not conservatives necessarily. You got Roger Ferguson was vice chairman of the board, Bill Dudley, who was at the New York Fed president and the FOMC vice chair. He was a big dud for years.
Yeah.
They're all saying, Laffer, they're all saying that the Fed is way behind the curve and there's not going to be a soft landing. What's your kind of soft landing sense right now?
Well, I don't think it's anywhere close to a soft landing, and already you're starting a crash landing, and they're still not stopping the fuel from going full speed. GDP growth, Larry, last quarter. Now, this is the first quarter of this year was down 1.4%. Now, you can argue with imports, exports, and all these numerical deconstructionist things, but total production in the U.S. was down by 1.4%. That is a huge drop. And if you look at some of these other numbers, the employment number today is still lower than it was in February of 2020. So you've got some real problems on the economy. And with this inflation coming in the Fed policy, I don't see how you stop from being a crash landing. I just don't see it. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and boy, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see how they thread this needle.
You know, that's another point you just reminded me. You're right. Civilian employment is still 1.5 million below February of 2020. Mr. Biden's term is not creating jobs. He's just getting people to go back to work, and they haven't all gone back to work yet. I'd like to put that to the Truth Board, the Misinformation Truth Board, George Orwell's Truth Board. I'd like to, all these things. This better than the Washington Post. Let's go to this Misinformation Board. What a fabulous idea that is. I got to run that. All this stuff,
well,
I got to run it off
that's the truth.
flagpole.
Let's put Hillary on there, too, and let's put some of this other stuff on there. It's shocking, Larry, and it really is unpleasant. But truthfully, Trump did a good job on the economy, and Biden has done a very bad job on the economy, truthfully.
Couple last things, though. One last minute here. Look, I'm arguing that you can't have a strong economy unless you have predictable price stability. And that's the point the Federal Reserve is missing. And I'm going to give credit. I mean, Larry Summers has said this, too. All right, he gets it right a few times in a row. But I'm just saying, this is what everyone's missing, the Keynesians and the modern monetary theory. You cannot have growth unless you have price stability. And so the sooner you get back to price stability, the quicker you're going to get the growth back. And this is something that you do not hear Jay Powell or any of these other people talk about. Last word.
Yeah, this is our third pillar of prosperity. There's nothing that can bring an economy to its knees faster than unsound monetary policy and inflation. And that is exactly what you're seeing happening right now. Unsound monetary policy and inflation, and the economy is falling to its knees, just as it always does.
All right. Art Laffer, thanks very much. Hate to be kind of
my
pessimistic,
pleasure, sir.
But the cavalry is coming. I just hope the cavalry knows what it's doing when it gets here. Art Laffer, talk soon. Appreciate it very much.